um, lovers, relationships. I have one where I am able to be, I guess, in that flexible state. And I am finding myself sort of going back and forth and feeling pulled and then repelled. Um, and it's we have very clear communication, I think, throughout it. So I feel an integrity with it. I don't feel like I'm misleading. I feel like I'm wondering if we're playing out some sort of agreed upon arrangement, or is this just me learning how to relate? I'm just curious what's going on with this relationship.
Well, you always are playing out an agreed upon relationship. That is what relationship is. You are in soul contract with each being you meet. We would ask you, what is it that is uncomfortable for you about this relationship that prompted you to ask this question?
Thank you. I think I think I don't like the inconsistency within myself where I'll communicate, I feel like we need to end this or we need to be friends, and then the next week we're back on, and I feel like uh I guess I'm questioning the how I'm operating and my own guidance within it, and I think that's what's making me uncomfortable.
Then let us ask you, what is it that makes you feel that you need to end it?
um I think recently I just didn't feel sexually drawn to this person anymore, so I ended that part of it.
Well, that is valid. And if you are not feeling sexually drawn, do not engage in intercourse. But what we are saying is it possible that considering you do enjoy this relationship at times in certain levels of it, that you do not need to so much, as long as you communicate this intention to this being, make it into something that is structured and that does have its rules and regulations? Because what we are sensing is that you are feeling elements of guilt for not having a concrete answer to a question that someone perhaps has not even asked you. Therefore, you are trying to get out ahead of the hurting of the feelings or trying to get ahead of the issues that might arise instead of living in the moment, in that the moments that you do feel like interacting with this person, you do call them up and say, would you like to interact? And the moments that you do not, you simply do not call them up and interact with them. If they then have a problem with that and they are not content, they will inform you. But if you begin to see your voyage with this person not so much as an obligation, not so much as a must do in these particular ways, you might find that you begin to enjoy the relationship for whatever it is in each now moment to a higher standard or to a higher level than you are currently enjoying it. Because we are hearing that there is this hot and cold, that you are at times wanting to engage with this person in some ways, and in other times you are not wanting to engage with this person. It is a offering to you to be okay with how you are. It is okay that there are people in your life that you will want to engage with some of the times in some of the ways, and that you will not want to engage with some of the times in some of the ways. It is up to the other person to decide if that is something that they are compatible with. It is not up to you to fix yourself. We are coming back to that question of it is not necessary for you to change in any way whatsoever. If you are in integrity, if you are communicating this to this person, then they have the free will to choose to either continue relationing with you in ways that feel good to them as well on a day-to-day basis. And if there is not compatibility between the two of you, in other words, if they want a sexual relationship and that is something that you are no longer wanting, well, then that will naturally appear. What we do not think is in your interest or is not necessarily serving you any longer, though it perhaps has been serving you so far, is the creation of the breakage of the relationship and then the declaration of it being again whole. Because the truth is, no relationship is ever broken and no relationship is ever whole. In other words, whether the person is your primary romantic partner, whether they are someone who is in and out of your life in different seasons, there is no difference between these two energies except for what feels good to both of you in your interaction moments at any given point in time. Does this help you in some way?
Oh, yes, in a lot of ways. So many things come to mind. What the first one is, I think I was focused on there's this concept of attachment styles in relating between humans, and I've self-identified as what they would call an avoidant attachment, and um, I think that's where my own self-judgment is coming from, because I was sort of connecting when I would feel, I guess, cold with the person. I was exploring, am I avoiding something here? And then trying to lean back in to say, okay, maybe I'm avoiding something, or if avoiding intimacy itself. Um, is there any basis to that, I guess, within my energy field, or was I just kind of overthinking and judging myself?
Well, the fact remains that even if that is your attachment style, which it might well be, what is more important, rather than fixing yourself, is the coming into a state where you do not need to be frightened in a relationship. And there is no way to do that or to come into that state while you are judging yourself for being the one that could harm the relationship, for judging yourself for being the one that could hurt the other person, or trying to fit yourself into a certain category or box. Yes, childhood does influence the ways in which you interact with one another, and some of those ways perhaps are not what could be considered the easiest methodologies or manners in which to interact. But with and through self awareness and knowing that you need, for example, space, if that is the case, and that you will have days where you think that person is fabulous and other days where you feel smothered by them, in knowing that, you have already healed your attachment style, if that is the case, because you are able to say to them, listen, I need space. It is not you. It is that I simply need space. This is what feels good to me in this now moment. And you do not need to fret. You do not need to worry about whether or not I'm coming back, because I am. I do. I always do. I know that when I like a person. And you know what? If I don't, that's fine too, because you will go on and find someone else who is more compatible with you. But in this now moment, I do need space. As opposed to trying to fix yourself and putting yourself in a proximity that gets you all riled up. So we are not saying run away or just delete the idea of having more balanced relationships in your future. What we are saying, however, is that it is correct for you to honor yourself however you are right now, as you are coming into a space when you are wanting to have a different relationship styling. It does take time. And the best thing for someone who is needing that space is someone on the other end of that relationship who says, okay, I am here when you need me. In that moment, the person who is needing the space or wanting to have a bit of distance can recollect themselves, can regather themselves, can begin to miss the person that they have spent their time with, can begin to remember why they enjoy that time together, and they can come back up and resurface, and that partner can be there waiting, going, well, it's wonderful, shall we go have a drink? And that is how you heal relationships, because over time, you will know that you do not need to run away to your own cave. Because the moment you say, I'm feeling a little tight right now, right here, that person goes, okay. And that is what is going to help you. But if you continue to judge yourself and you put yourself in a situation where someone perhaps does feel a little bit tight, then you will find yourself not running away physically, perhaps, but getting yourself into loops, projecting upon them, saying it is their fault, and then not even looking at the areas in which you can honor yourself by saying, you know what, I would rather be alone in this now moment. I do not want to be suffocated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's helpful.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that clip. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, leave a comment, and engage with this content as much as possible. See you again soon.